Welcome back to Shib Planet. Alright guys, so it looks like in September we're going to have a lot of positive catalysts for the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Just recently, we've seen the price of Shiba Inu jump over 35% thanks to a combination of favorable market conditions and the beta testing of the new Shiba Inu game Shiba Eternity, and also due to some great anticipation for the release of Shibarium. But did you guys know that there are about 5 major catalysts which are all set to go live by at least September, which will all affect the price of the Shiba Inu ecosystem tokens? And one of those catalysts is the upcoming Ethereum merge, which is expected to fatten the pockets of Ethereum whales, whose favorite token is, you've guessed it, Shiba Inu. And so get ready for September guys, because in today's video we're going to discuss exactly what to look out for. Welcome back to Shib Planet everyone, this is Ace. Alright guys, September has Shibarium, Shiba Eternity, and a John Richmond and Shiba Inu International Fashion event, and also Ethereum's merge with the Beacon chain. And on top of all that, August CPI inflation figures are going to be released in September, and if those figures come in below expectations, then we'll see another crypto rally. But for now, let's discuss the very real possibility of all this and how it's going to impact the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Alright guys, let's get right to it. Alright guys, my apologies in advance, because today I'm going to be a nerd for the next few minutes, but if you guys get it, I promise it will be worth it. Alright guys, these are the 5 factors which are going to affect Shiba Inu in September. We're going to have 2 macroeconomic factors which will affect all cryptos, and then there'll also be 3 major Shiba Inu specific catalysts. And the macroeconomic factors are CPI inflation figures and also the Federal Reserve interest rate hike, which are both related. And the Shiba Inu specific catalysts are the Shibarium public launch, the Shiba Eternity mobile game launch on all platforms, and also the John Richmond and Shiba Inu International Fashion Show, which is going to be run in September in Milan, which most of you have probably forgotten by now. But for now, let's do this. Alright guys, according to the schedule of releases for the Consumer Price Index, on Tuesday, September 13 of this year, which is this date over here, the Consumer Price Index figures are going to be released, and this figure is what the US Federal Reserve takes into consideration before deciding on how much to increase interest rates by. Okay, sorry, you guys are going to have to bear with me for a bit guys, because I'm going to explain some macroeconomic factors first, and I think it's quite important to know for every investor, because these are actually the factors which affect all the big movements across all financial markets, including crypto. So keep that date in mind of the 13th of September, because typically these dates here, on these dates you typically see the biggest movements in financial markets, particularly as sophisticated institutional investors plan their trades. So if you've been wondering why most financial markets, including crypto, are experiencing a bear market, it's because, as this graph shows, inflation figures in the US have been sharply increasing all year. And in order to reduce this, the US Federal Reserve has been increasing interest rates and thus making it more expensive to borrow money and ultimately reducing the supply of money in the economy, which then ultimately has the effect of reducing inflation. And according to this graph, the most recent CPI figure came in at 8.5%, which was in July. And so that's the inflation figure. And this was actually lower than expected. And the market saw this as the sign that inflation may have hit its peak, which is true because if you look at this graph here, it peaked in June at 9.1%. And the market actually expected it to be higher for the month of July. However, it came down. And because it came down, that actually gave confidence to the market. And it caused, a beginning of a brief rally. CNBC reported it this way. Consumer prices rose to 8.5% in July, less than expected, as inflation pressures ease a bit. And so, in anticipation of a milder interest rate hike, the markets actually rallied recently. And so that's the super short version of the macroeconomic conditions. And so right now, some analysts are expecting CPI data to continue falling, and if indeed the figure released on September 13 is within expectations, then you can also expect the markets in September to rally. Okay guys, check this out. You know, in the month of June, when the CPI or the inflation figure was 9.1%, the market consensus expectation was that the Fed rate would have a 1.5% rate, but the actual rate was released at 1.75%, which was higher. And this actually caused the markets to plunge quite a bit. But that was actually quite expected because inflation was increasing. So the Fed had to do what it had to do to try and curb that inflation. But right now, that CPI appears to have peaked, as you saw on the previous graph. And the markets expect that a lower federal rate would apply. And if that actual figure actually turns out to be either lower or as expected, just like in July, then the markets are expected to pump. And at the moment, the Fed rate is 2.5%. We don't have details yet about what the consensus expectation for the next Fed rate would be, but I do believe it's expected to be close to 3%, but I'll speak about that later. Anyway, according to the Wall Street Journal, there's a roughly 73% chance of the Fed raising rates by 50 basis points in September. And so expect this figure, 50 basis points is 0.5%. And that means that the expectation would be for a 3% Fed rate, adding 0.5% to that previous 2.5%. And if that comes in at that figure or lower, then the market should actually respond favorably in September. And as for the date, this is what the analysts have to say. The Fed's decision will also depend on inflation data, which will be released between now and its two-day meeting, which is also in September, between the dates of the 20th and the 21st. So basically, the 20th and the 21st appear to be the latest date which we'll be able to know these figures by. And so, since Shiba Inu is a top 15 crypto with very large Ethereum whales, you can expect that Shiba Inu can move in the same general direction of the market in the month of September. And speaking about Ethereum, this is actually the next catalyst. According to the Daily Hodl, the article reads, "Scheduled date for Ethereum merge moves up," according to the developers. And here is the new timeline. So if I scroll down here, the article says that the merge date has now been scheduled for September the 15th rather than the tentative date of September 19th, which was thrown out previously. Now, as most of you know, the merge is the long anticipated event where Ethereum is going to officially switch from a proof of work consensus mechanism, which requires energy consuming rigs just like with Bitcoin, to a proof of stake consensus mechanism, which is much more environmentally friendly. And I'm not going to go into detail about how this is actually going to cause a supply shock within the Ether token, or within the Ether coin. But just know that if successful, this is actually going to dramatically increase the price of Ethereum going forward. And it probably won't go below $2,000 again, in my opinion. So guys, as you know, Shiba Inu is an ERC20 token, which means that it runs on Ethereum. And Shiba Inu is currently the biggest ERC20 token held by Ethereum whales at the moment. And that's without including stablecoins. And this is what I just tweeted about this. I said that SHIB is the most held token by the top 100 whales, excluding stablecoins. And with the merge happening in September, ETH whale bags are about to get a whole lot bigger. And guess who's first in line for a pump? And of course, we believe that is Shiba Inu. And also with the additional catalysts, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And we do know that there's a very high chance that it's going to be a successful transition because Ethereum did a test run and it went quite smoothly from what I hear. According to CoinDesk, Ethereum's third and final testnet merge goes live on Go Early, which was the name for the testnet version of the merge. Okay, let's talk about SHIB catalysts. Firstly, Shiba Inu is currently testing the first official game Shiba Eternity, and it's important to note that this game was actually developed by a AAA game studio, PlaySide, which is the largest publicly listed game studio in Australia. And PlaySide is actually responsible for developing many mobile and PC games for the likes of Disney and Warner Brothers, so you can bet that the game will be of a high quality. They have done titles such as Batman, Wonder Woman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and a lot of other Disney and Pixar titles. And the game itself is currently being tested right now in Vietnam, and it's already been so popular that they've had to increase the server size by 50,000 times, according to William Volk. And after that, the official version, it's going to go live, and it's set to dominate the Android and iOS charts, and also increase the reach of the Shiba Inu brand. And then later in the year, the blockchain version is going to be released, allowing for additional utility for the SHIB token itself. And then, of course, the next major catalyst is Shibarium. And Shibarium, as you guys know, is Shiba Inu's layer 2 blockchain, which will be the foundation upon which all future Shiba Inu utility is going to be built on. And this includes the new version of ShibaSwap 2.0, the decentralized exchange, which once held a TVL of over $1 billion dollars in TVL during the bull market. And Shibarium is also going to power the Shiba Inu metaverse, which is actually currently under development by one of the world's best visual art studios, The Third Floor. And this is the same game studio which does all the CGI for Disney and pretty much all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all your favorite movies from that franchise. So let that sink in for a while. And also Shibarium will power the blockchain version of the Shiba Eternity game. And Shibarium is also going to run the future decentralized real-world goods and services marketplace Shibanet, and much more. And this layer 2 blockchain has a unique mechanism which is going to burn SHIB with absolutely every transaction and gradually reduce the circulating supply of SHIB and gradually drive up the price over time. And then the third and final catalyst will be Shiba Inu's partnership with world-renowned fashion brand John Richmond. And John Richmond is actually expected to launch Shiba Inu-inspired clothing, which corresponds to matching NFTs. And this is set to happen in Milan during the Milan Fashion Week, between the dates of about, I think, September 20th until the 26th, if I get my dates right. So I believe that this is going to bring much more exposure to just a different breed of potential investor, and it's also should be happening during a month where Shiba Inu is likely to be trending throughout, especially if all these other catalysts happen as I'm expecting. And so let's wrap this up with a simulation. Right now the price of Shiba Inu is at about 15,000 Satoshi units, and I'm just going to see if we can predict, based on the upcoming catalysts, what the price could possibly be like. If you were to buy $1,000 worth of Shiba Inu now, I'm just going to click the buy button and enter it into the simulator over here. So that's $1,000. My expectation is that in the lead up to at least the Ethereum merge, which is on the 15th, Shiba Inu should be able to at least begin gradually reaching the $10 billion market cap, assuming that this price remains the same. So I'm going to enter 1 billion. That's 10 billion. That's a little too much. I'm going to enter 1 billion over here. And I do think that it'll gradually increase there, and up until about maybe the 20th of September. And if the Fed rate is positive, and also the CPI figures, I do think that SHIB has a strong potential to break the 20,000 resistance barrier. And I'm not sure when Shiba Eternity will hit the market, but when that does happen, at the moment it's been trending quite well. And if you guys remember, whenever SHIB launches something, it tends to break whatever it's put on. We launched on Binance and on Coinbase, and both platforms crashed, including some other exchanges as well. And when we launched the Shiboshis, Ethereum also struggled with heavy gas fees due to the high demand. So I do think if the community rallies behind Shiba Eternity, a similar thing might happen to the Apple and Android stores. And best case scenario, we'll just end up trending, which is all good news anyway. And so if all this happens together with positive news for Shibarium, I would not be surprised if Shiba Inu can hit maybe a $13 billion market cap, best case scenario. That's if everything all happens as expected. And your $1,000 Shiba Inu investment would have probably become $1,500 according to this simulation. And that is pretty much the reason why I'm excited for the month of September, guys. And that's also a good point to end this video. Of course, it's indeed impossible that some of these factors might happen earlier. For example, if Shibarium or if the game gets launched in August, for example. But ideally, for my simulation to work, everything should ride off positive news from both the Federal Reserve and also a successful Ethereum merge. Not financial advice. Once again, if you guys like the way I cover the Shiba Inu ecosystem, the best way you can continue to support this channel is by simply hitting the like button and also leaving a Shiba Inu related comment. And you can also consider using the thanks button, which is at the bottom of this this video. And once again, thank you so much for watching, everyone. This is Ace. Peace.